our upcoming topic, Gartner's hypercycle. The Gartner hypercycle provides a framework to assess the maturity and adoption of technologies, highlighting the journey from inflated expectations to practical applications. Now, Mr. Srini will speak about more on this.
In the previous module, we saw how technological ruptures, especially those in the contemporary scenario, have taken place sporadically and exponentially over spots of time, rather than being distributed uniformly or in a linear fashion. The dynamic evolution is further underscored by the fact that the emergence of new technologies doesn't unfold quietly. Instead, they announce themselves boldly and unmistakably. Because of the key drivers of technological change we touched upon earlier, businesses are now keen on paying attention to these new entrants in the technology market to make sure they remain competitive, even with insufficient knowledge of the technology or its benefits. Think 3D printing technology, for example. First conceptualized ambitiously by the science fiction writer Murray Leinster in a short story called Things Pass By in the 1940s, and later patented and commercialized in 1984 by Charles W. Hull, the emergence of accessible 3D printing technologies garnered significant attention in the late 2000s and was seen as a revolutionary concept with the potential to transform manufacturing and prototyping processes. 3D printers are also expected to become a household technology, with children digitally fabricating shapes and objects. Today, while the technology is being leveraged widely for prototyping and product development across industries, factors such as material limitations and low scalability made it fall short of expectations in the 2010s, as compared to traditional manufacturing processes. Technology adoption for businesses is no one-size-fits-all process. British Venezuelan technology specialist Carlota Perez begins her book, Technological Revolutions and Financial Capital, with a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche. Every concept originates through or equating what is unequal. No leaf ever wholly equals another, and the concept leaf is formed through an arbitrary abstraction from the individual differences, though forgetting the distinctions. Each business environment is unique, varying in terms of industry size, culture, goals, and existing infrastructure. When these new and exciting innovations enter the market, the business landscape is shrouded by a blanket of hype, enveloping the technology in anticipation, exaggerated expectations, and a fervor that often precedes a more nuanced understanding of its true impact and capabilities. One of the information technology giants, Gartner, has identified key components of what it calls the technology hype cycle, represented graphically along these 5 phases to represent the maturity, adoption, and social application of specific technologies. Innovation trigger. A potential technology breakthrough kicks things off. Every early proof of concept stories and media interest triggers significant publicity. Often no usable products exist and commercial viability is unproven. The following characterize the innovative trigger stage: high excitement, curiosity, limited practical application, early prototypes, and proof of concepts. Potential for disruptive impact, peak of inflated expectations. Early publicity produces a number of success stories, often accompanied by scores of failures. Some companies take action, many do not. Its characteristics include exaggerated expectations, enthusiasm and optimism, early success stories, limited real-world implementations. Then comes the trough of disillusionment. Interest wanes as experiments and implementations fail to deliver. Producers of the technology shake out or fail. Investments continue only if the surviving providers improve their products to the satisfaction of early adopters in this stage. Real-world challenges emerge. Initial implementations fall short. Negative media coverage appears. Skepticism and reduced interest become common. Then comes the slope of enlightenment. More instances of how the technology can benefit the enterprise start to crystallize and become more widely understood. Second and third generation products appear from technology providers. More enterprises fund pilots. Conservative companies remain cautious. Its characteristics include learning from failures, improved implementations, mutation of the technology, practical applications identified. Then comes the plateau of productivity. Mainstream adoption starts to take off. Criteria for assessing provider viability are more clearly defined. The technology, broad market applicability, and relevance are clearly paying off, becoming an integral part of the industry landscape. The key characteristics of plateau of productivity are broad adoption across industries, stable and reliable implementations, established best practices, integration into mainstream business operations.